Welcome back. Well, let's pull out the SGX Nifty because the setup is that we'll have a gap up. 40 points is reasonable considering the last few days the gap up has been 10 or 15 points and that's been sold into, or on weekdays the markets have recovered. Let's see if today we can have a bit of a trend. Asian markets, Hong Kong is up about 1% and that normally at times is a bit of an indicator, but the market is dealing with FII selling at every higher level. Mayuresh Joshi of Angel Broking is with us now. Mayuresh, good morning. So let's talk about some stocks first. I wanted your thoughts on the real estate pack because we saw big moves yesterday on India Bulls Real Estate, HDIL, DLF. Anything that you would want to buy here?
Morning, Anuj. Again, yes, I think with the kind of announcements the Prime Minister has made, any stock which is leaned towards affordable housing will see a sentimental push through. But what really needs to be seen in the context is how demand-supply dynamics pan out, how much demand actually comes through and how much supply is actually ready to meet that demand. So in that context itself, I think real estate stocks have been reeling under dual pressures, A, of inventory not getting sold out because of demand not coming through on their existing sales that they're probably doing, and B, I think the kind of high leverage that already exists on their balance sheet. So that is not giving them any comfort on the operating side, as well as the cash flows, which have remained extremely soft and tepid. So I think that scenario might very well continue with the demonetization drive that has taken place for at least 2 quarters. So I think I'll be tempted to look at a few stocks which are based out of South India, but not at this point of time. I think there'll be opportunities to enter these stocks over the next few months.
Okay. Mayuresh, the big theme that we are all talking about is GST. I just want you to listen in to some of the sound bites we got from finance ministers at the GST Council. We are coming back with a question.
We'll be meeting again because the nature of discussion was inconclusive. We'll be meeting again on the 16th of this month and have a sitting to really conclude the discussion on those specific points. When I refer to the gaps, it refers predominantly to 2 or 3 issues or issues falling under 2 big heads. And if I may just illustratively explain to you, the first retains to the definition of the word territory, and the second deals with both cross-empowerment and dual control.
We still made some headway. The compensation law is finally kind of with the revised wording, legal language and all that is kind of been done. So I think what remains really now, which has been a stumbling block for quite some time, is the cross-empowerment issue. So hopefully 16th meeting, that is the only thing on the agenda now.
As far as GST deadline is concerned, you ask the Union Finance Minister. I think you will be, if you are saying the number of steps that have to be taken in order to get to the end where the business upload the ERP that we give them, that stage is nowhere to be seen. Business is saying, CII said in public, I saw in the media, that they are not ready for GST yet because they have to upload the ERP.
Having seen these changes in the stance of centre, I hope they will appreciate the demands the state is making. And if so, then, well, there's no doubt we can roll it out by September.
Definitely, April is not possible, is what you're saying?
Definitely not possible.
Okay, well, that's the question to you, Mayuresh. How is market reading GST? Is it not bothered? If it were to be September, that's exactly what the Kerala FM is saying, it will not make any difference to the way the market trades?
No, again, I think some disappointment will come through, Lata, but I think the larger picture that the market is looking at this point is that GST will get implemented. Now, if it gets delayed by 3 months or 6 months, I think that disappointment the markets will very well carry into. But the larger picture that the markets are looking at is how the budget will come through, what kind of announcements come through in the budget, and more importantly, what happens with the state elections. UP state is going to be extremely critical. And I was hearing you guys out in the morning. I think the way the direction goes through the UP states, candidates will drive down the agenda going forward for the general elections in 2019. So it's not that the central government will step down on its reforms, but I think it does create a sentimental impact. So more than GST, I think it is budget and the state elections that the markets will be more worried about, at least at this point of time.
Okay, well, let's do one thing. Let's take a short break. We have many more questions for you, Mayuresh, but when we come back, we will be in time for the pre-opening rate, so we'll discuss all that and more.
Welcome back. We still have a couple of minutes, so let's get one FNO strategy going, and maybe by then we will have the pre-opening rates at least. The SGX Nifty is indicating that we would be well over 8,200 when we open, well over probably 8,225. That's the global indication, of course. Chandan Taparia, the derivative and technical analyst at Anand Rathi, has joined in. Good morning, Chandan. What's the Nifty deal today?
Yes, good morning. Nifty has been finding multiple hurdle near to 82.20, 82.30 zone from last three trading session. Earlier at the mid of the last series, market started the selling pressure from the same level. So now if it manages to surpass 82.30, then it can start the next up move, which may take it to 80 to 83 fine kind of level. We have seen put writing at 8100, 8200 strike, but call writing is intact at 8200 strike. So today opening and hold above 82.30 might give the fresh momentum, which may lead it to buy 8200 points going forward.
Okay, Chandan, good morning. Individual stocks, give us your top 2 or 3 ideas.
Yes, good morning, Anuj. Yesterday we have seen buying interest in most of the IT counter, and these stocks are doing well as per the data and the price structure are concerned. We have seen buying interest in Tech Mahindra. That is our favorite pick because the stock has seen built up of long position, trend is positive, and it has surpassed the supply trend line on the weekly chart. So looking for a target towards 526, one can buy with a stop loss of 489. Second trade is buy on GAIL India. It has formed a positive price pattern on the daily chart. It has been holding the multiple support of 431, 432 zone, and after a small consolidation, stock may start the fresh leg of rally. So recommending to buy on a small decline with a stop loss of 431 for the upside target of 460 levels in next coming trading session. While on the option front, I am looking positive move in ONGC and DLF. ONGC has been holding the gains. On last trading session, we have seen put writing at 195 and call unwinding at 195. So the sentiment at 195 clearly indicates that this stock can head towards 202 to 205 level. So here suggesting to buy with 195 call, keep the stop loss of 3, and this call can move towards 10 rupees. While DLF yesterday has given the strong momentum, this momentum is happening after the consolidation of last 6 to 7 weeks. We have seen built up of long position followed by short covering, so this rally can extend to higher level. One can buy with 125 call for an upside target towards 11 rupees.
Okay, we are seeing real estate stocks once again. buzzing. Let's see how long they can hold. The first tick is coming in very, very green, you will have to say. It's about 0.7 up that we saw on the Nifty. So very close to the 8250 mark, even at the spot level. The SGX Nifty, of course, is the futures level. The rupees opened stronger. It was, I think, 68.05 or thereabouts when it closed yesterday. So dollars cheaper by 15 pice. Always expected because of the global decline from that 103.8 levels to sub 103 levels for the dollar index. That bonhomie is probably translating in the stock market as well. It's a decent amount of green. I don't know whether we should go around reading stock numbers because, well, Vedant is starting lower, as Sudarshan had said it would, starting about 2% lower. And among the stocks, cement is doing well, HDFC is doing well. That's my sense. I think the news about HDFC Bank and DHFL may already have been factored in. So perhaps, as Anuj said, today would be the day when financials could look up.
Well, some stocks that are in focus, Divi's Labs is seeing a bit of a bounce back this morning, so up almost about 2.5% or so. Sales production numbers were quite good, so that stock is up almost about 4% or so. You have, an upgrade that has come in for Sun TV, so that stock too is in focus this morning. And Jubilant Life, a lot of brokerages raising their target prices on Jubilant Life after signing that contract in the radio pharma business. So that stock is also looking pretty good. But for now, looks like there will be a positive opening today.
Stocks like Tata Motors, DVR doing well, Maruti also doing well, ICICI Bank is in the green. So for now, the start is on the positive side. Emerging market currencies have rallied and rupee has extended gains actually after yesterday's good session. So now back below 68 on that, 67.90 is what we have on that. So things looking quite okay at this point in time. Telecom stocks rallied yesterday, so they are seeing a bit of a decline, at least in pre-open. The rates now seem to be settling somewhere around 40 point higher at 82.30. Ashwini, if we have an opening around 82.25, 82.30, with the recent high being 82.50, is there still a long trade, or then you just wait for the market to halt and then take that short call that you said you will at some point during intraday?
See, 80-30, 30-point gap is not going to scare any bear. And, the environment is not such where, big buyers will come in. Yes, we are going up because of a certain technical formation and, global markets are up. But if people have decided they're going to take profits off, any sort of higher opening will lead to selling at some point. And the problem or the trick in this market is that you take the other side. Like yesterday we went down, if you took the other side you will get some money. Today we are going up, look for opportunity to take the other side because follow through is missing. That is the defining feature of this market. So yes, maybe in a couple of hours, 11 o'clock thereabouts, you should be able to take the other side.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, let's pause and take cognizance of one sector which has been the market's cynosure, as it were, the NBFC companies, and in particular the housing finance companies. In the early part of 2016, first half, they were the darlings because wholesale money had become so cheap, everybody could raise cheap debentures. Then came demonetization and everybody worried about their LAP, the loan against property wing. And now with banks aggressively cutting interest rates, suddenly housing finance companies is no fun because their margins are crunched. Is life so bad? R. Varadarajan, Managing Director of Repco Home Finance.
Today, in fact, let's continue that discussion. We have Santosh Singh now joining us, Head of Research at Haitong Securities. Santosh, good morning. A lot has happened in the NBFC space, housing finance space, of course, and we're still trying to make sense of how to deal with some of these stocks post that big rate cut from State Bank of India. Your thoughts on how to approach this space now?
So I think the rate cut, the most significant impact we are expecting to see is in the normal housing, that is the space where the larger housing finance companies are. In that particular space, if you would have looked at the housing space, for them the cost of fund was declining quite sharply for last 1.5 years, given that they were borrowing from the NCD market and paying off the bank loans. And the bank rates were not falling, so the yields were not reducing. So that's why there was an expansion in net interest margins. But now, all of a sudden, the rates have fallen significantly from the banking side. So the yields are going to fall, whereas the cost of funding is not going to fall that significantly. Hence, there would be a pressure on net interest margin for housing finance companies. And also, I would think that on the older loans also, there would be some sort of churn starting to build up. So that's where this is a space where I think there will be some concerns.
Okay. Right now we were speaking to Varadarajan of Repco. Is there an additional worry over their loan against property? And as their margins crunch in the, residential sector, in the home loan space, are they likely to get to this high-risk companies? Are you wary of any and all housing finance companies now?
See, I'm wary of almost every housing finance companies now, and due to different reasons. The top ones because there's going to be some bit of impact because of the net interest margin because of the rate cuts, and the smaller ones mainly around their exposure to the informal sector because of the demonetization impact. The loan against property is one segment which was mainly to the informal or small and medium enterprises sector, and lesser to the salaried employee. So that's an area where I'm a little bit worried on the NPL front and also on growth front. So for the smaller guys from that angle and on the larger guys from the net interest margin angle. So I think this is a segment where I'm not really that bullish on.
Okay, well, the pre-opening rates, by the way, have settled higher. So Sensex, Nifty and mid-caps are up more than 0.5%. And Bank Nifty is looking pretty good, up about 0.6%. Santosh, before we let you go, any of the other NBFCs that have recovered quite a bit, the likes of Bharat Financial, etc., do they look attractive to you at this point? And if yes, which ones?
I don't think the NBFC segment as such is looking attractive to me. There could be one or two specific stocks which I can think of. Maybe despite all said and done, maybe an HDFC Limited or maybe a Sundaram Finance. But other than that, in the NBFC space, I'm still worried about, given that despite this fall, they are expensive and there is going to be some tough time for them over the next 1 or 2 quarters.
Okay, that's looking eerie. Santosh Singh, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you very much for joining us with your thoughts on this very important sector, darling of 2016. Well, the markets are opening fairly well in the green for all these worries, GST, GDP, net interest margins crashing. The market seems to have taken it all, factored in at the moment in the green. Any thoughts?
Yeah, so as I said in the morning as well, that the data indicated and the global risk on indicated that if we have to have any breakout, it's today. But the problem is, and as Ashwini also pointed out, if an FI is selling at 80.50 and 81.50, he will sell at 82.50 unless the call is reversed to sell. So the key for this market would be sustaining above the 200-day moving average, which would be somewhere around 82.72, 82.70 thereabout. But the Bank Nifty might have a cleaner day compared to the Nifty because it's the weekly options expiry on the Bank Nifty. So that's why, as I said, I'll be watching out for Bank Nifty and ICICI Bank in particular because, if the market has to have a good day, in that case, these two have to move.
I just have a word on this issue, Bank Nifty, a related issue to Mayuresh. Mayuresh, some of these heavily indebted companies have been rising. Is there a trading play at least over there? JP, GMR, GVK, you name it.
No, the possibility still exists, Lata, but again, I think from medium to long-term perspective, I think it still makes sense to have a bottom-up approach. So with that sense itself, I think a couple of mid-cap ideas that I'm currently liking at this point of time is something like a Mirza International. The numbers have not been so encouraging, Lata, in Q1, Q2, and I do not expect the numbers to recover in Q3 as well. But largely, I think in terms of its product profile, Red Tape is a well-known brand. Branded sales are expected to grow in excess of 21-22% to 260 odd crores. It's got a huge export presence. 75% of its sales come from export. Within the export market itself, UK, US, the Middle East account for a major chunk. So in that sense itself, I think earnings growth in excess of 10%, top line growth in excess of 10%, not ruled out. 1125 crores top line, 95 crores bottom line, EPS close to 7.6, 7.8 by FY18. The acquisition of Genesis Footwear will increase its production size by from 5.4 to 6.4 million units. So it's value accretive from an earnings perspective as well. So I think Mirza International in a staggered manner looks interesting. The other stock Yeah, with lieu of demonetization as a theme, I think the BOP part, on the power part, the Techno-Electric as a stock is something that I'm liking at lower levels. This stock clearly, with an order book of 2,600 crores on the EPC side of its business, is growing pretty decently. ROEs in excess of 35%, debt-free EPC business at the current juncture. You're probably looking at free cash flow yields in excess of 4-5%. You're probably looking at the wind business doing reasonably okay with grid availability in South, specifically Tamil Nadu, increasing. Debt to equity at 0.4 times, EBITDA margins 19-20%. You can't ask more for a company employed in the capital goods space.
All right, we'll come back to you, Mayuresh. We just have about 1 more minute to go, so let's try and get the final call in from Ashwini as well. On a quick programming note though, coming up in just a bit on Bazaar is our market master for the day. One of the biggest fund managers, Anup Maheshwari of DSP BlackRock Investment Managers, will be with us. But Ashwini, before the market starts, what is your 9:14 call?
See, we can still buy, say, Mindtree. That's a buy with a stop of 520, target of 545.
Okay, that's on Mindtree. Ashwini, any thoughts on any of the telecom names?
See, they have turned, but at best, I would think telecom is range bound right now. So if you have to be long, you would much rather be long on IT.
Okay, fair point. Actually, the one that's speeding on in an expressway actually is Tata Motors, at this point in time, and that's because of the very good JLR sales that Sonia spoke about earlier. So keep your eye out on that as well.
Hindustan Zinc, because we saw a big rally in zinc prices yesterday, so that would also be stock to watch.
Yeah, which is why I was a little surprised about the Vedant chart, but yes, each of them will have their own reasons not to participate or to participate. The bell goes and it's actually a 0.4% uptick, so 37 points higher on the Nifty and 150 up on the Sensex. So Sensex starts a little stronger, almost 0.6 higher. That's 26,800 almost on the Sensex, and the Nifty 8231 as I speak, 0.5% uptick on the Nifty. So still counting higher. Starting at about 8220 and going on to 8230. The first 1 minute has been a very strong trade for the Sensex and the Nifty. The mid cap is still doing a little better than the Sensex and the Nifty, and no surprise for Anuj, but surprise for me, Bank Nifty also in step up about 0.6%. So extremely positive start for the market after many days of meandering. The top honors go to the Tata Twins, Tata Motors DVR, and the share itself up about 2.3%. Sun Pharma again kicking higher, 1.3%. Vedant at the moment is up 1.3%. Hindalco as well. Metals have seen an uptick in global markets. Probably that's rubbing off. Novelis being able to successfully refinance its loan could also be a positive for Hindalco. Bank of Baroda, Tech Mahindra, Tata Steel, ICICI Bank, SBI, all the big boys are in the green by almost 1%. So that explains Bank Nifty's gain. Axis Bank also higher. All these are weighty elements in the Bank Nifty. Very few red stocks actually, just about 3 or 4, and that too down barely 0.2, 0.3%. Bharti Airtel, Bharti Infratel, BHEL, ITC down very, very meagerly. So good start for the bulls.
Oh yes, a very good start for the broader markets as well. But before that, Tata Motors is definitely your stock of the moment. 2.5% higher now. It's back above that 500 rupee mark. It's still about 20% away from its 52-week high of 598. So maybe there could be some more ground to cover, but volumes are picking up on Tata Motors right now. The telecom stocks continue to fall. So both Bharti is under pressure. Even Idea, the last time I saw, was slightly under pressure. In the broader markets, a couple of stocks to look at. Jubilant Life was the big gainer yesterday. It continues to see an up move today after signing that contract in the radio pharma business, and a lot of brokerages giving it a thumbs up. Looking good. Sun TV has got a brokerage upgrade coming in, so that stock is up almost about 2% odd. Pratibha Industries, a smaller stock, we don't generally talk about it, but the company has allotted almost 12.5 crore shares to JLF members at 30 rupees a share, and the stock is just at about 15 rupees, so keep an eye out on that as well. You have a couple of more of these, penny stocks that continue to rally today. So JP Power, Unitech, GVK Power, JP Associates, all of them rallying second day in a row. So keep an eye out on that. And some of the NBFCs like L&T Finance Holding and Bharat Financial Inclusion are also seeing a bit of a jig this morning. So that space continues to look good. On the downside, not too many stocks to worry about this morning, except maybe some small stocks like GMR Infra. But the start to the market has been quite good. 82.24 is holding now. And the stock of the moment definitely is Tata Motors. Sun Pharma is also the other one that's rallying. As Ekta told us, there is some positive results that have come in from the clinical trials for a dry eye treatment drug. And, that's a positive for Sun Pharma. But good opening for the market, Anuj.
Yeah, good opening. The problem is that, it's not a great opening. It's not the kind of opening that would have, as Ashwini said, that would have instilled some fear in the bears. 35-36 point. The key would be, can it sustain to 50-60 point gain on the Nifty? That would be the key. But let's take Ashwini's thoughts on that. Ashwini, 82.30 on the Nifty and 18,000 on the Bank Nifty, and it's stalling here.
See, these days the best strategy is if it goes down, buy. If it goes up, sell. So we have already taken short positions on the Bank Nifty. This is 100-point gap up after so many days. It's not even tested the first resistance, which was basically 18,050, 70 thereabouts. So chances are that as the day goes by, once you don't have any follow through, all of these bulls will be forced to cut positions. Yes, CNX IT, you can still continue long. Probably individual stocks is the way to go. But this 30-point move on the Nifty does not inspire confidence and will be soon given up.
Okay. Well, 0.5% higher, continuing to be maintained on the Sensex and the Nifty. In the mid-caps, 0.75 higher, so advanced decline is also looking very good. 6 stocks in the green for 1 in the red. Sudarshan, you were long anyway since yesterday. Any tweaking to, would you want to trade the Nifty Bank? You didn't want to trade it in the morning. And any other stocks?
No, I would not want to trade the Nifty Bank anyway. But there are so many other opportunities, starting with the Nifty, the CNX IT, and a lot of large cap stocks, including Reliance, which had a bad day yesterday, but could easily see a reversal on the upside today. I would be still long in the Nifty because we are right in that sweet spot. Will we cross that hump? The only way to find out is to be long and let the market tell us.
Okay, that strategy definitely has worked, Sudarshan. Mitesh, the big gainer this morning is Tata Motors. What are your thoughts on that, and any other stocks that you've noticed?
Yeah, so Tata Motors, we've been having a positive bias. I've talked about targets of around 515. So I think the stock most likely is heading towards that. Maybe, 535, 540 can happen, but we'll take a call. So I think for the timing, if somebody wants to buy this one, I would be comfortable buying with the stop below 492 for a first target of 515. Amongst other stocks, I think TVS Motor is looking interesting. It had a bad number and then we've seen a good reversal. It needs to get past this levels of 383 and it's trading right there at 382.5. So I think that could be a good breakout rate on the intraday charts. Once it breaks 383, I think I would buy this one with the stop at 377. Look for targets close to about 400.
Okay, Mitesh, Sudarshan and Ashwini, thanks a lot for taking us through market opening. Of course, we'll keep coming back to you. For now, the market is holding higher level. 82.38 is what we have right now. Good time to invite our market master, Anup.